Hi, I'm Yarlik, and I wasn't planning to make another behind the scenes so soon, but something quite funny happened, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to show how TASing geododging works. Now, you might wonder, this is the Mawlurks segment, so really there's no reason we should be getting geo. But there's something very funny that happens in this room. So I'm going to turn on a very large zoomed out view here. And you might notice that there is a little crawler over here. I've already tasked the first part of this room, so I'm just going to unpause it. And then you can watch as the knight is making their way into the room. But meanwhile, that crawler is crawling down to some spikes. And turns out this crawler is not very smart. It doesn't seem to understand that spikes are a problem. And so right around the time when I'm jumping over the Mawlurk here, it kills itself. And when the crawler kills itself, it drops 2 pieces of geo. So that's right, we get to do the Mawlurks segment while dodging 2 pieces of geo. And it took me a moment to figure out what was happening here. It was very strange. Got quite a good laugh about it. But now let's go ahead and walk through actually TASing dodging this geo. So I've already done this initial segment. So I make it over the Mawlurk here. I do some nail knockback off the Mawlurk to get a little bit of extra momentum. And then there's a piece of orange goop, so I need to jump over that and then dash over that. So nothing too complicated yet. But now we're going to get to the interesting part here. So we're going to dash down here, and then we're going to start falling. And I've already tasked this, so basically I stayed to the left for a bit, and the reason I'm doing this is to lure the geo over. And then I can start going over toward the wall. And there's 2 different pieces here, and they're staggered in timing. So it's a little tricky, because I need to dodge both of them. And so I fine-tuned it so that we reach the wall at the perfect time that both of them will pass by us. And then right here, as we're passing underneath this piece of geo, we're going to start a wiggle WCS, wall cling storage, which will allow us to make some forward progress in the room without the geo hitting us. So we go away from the wall, we go toward the wall, and then we dash away. And so we still have the wall jump flag. And you'll see also that we're holding left and right at the same time. This lets us maintain maximum dash momentum during the WCS hold. And so we continue that over here. And then we release left and right so that we stop our leftward motion. And now we hold them again. And this is then causing us to slide down the wall. But because we're holding left and right at the same time, it doesn't cap our fall speed to the normal wall cling fall speed, which is handy. Because we want to get down here, and before the geo catches us, we're going to dash off of the virtual wall. And then use wall cling storage to dodge it yet again as it passes over us. So this is as far as I've gotten so far. And so we're going to attach the rest of the Mawlurk room now. I'm going to set a save state here, and then let's see what we can do. Ideally, we want to continue doing WCS through here until we get to the C- section. But let's see if we can get away with that. So we're going to need to start jumping here because we're about to touch the floor. So if you want to keep WCS, you need to jump on the same frame that you hit the ground. So it looks like the geo might catch us, but let's give it a try. Because the geo is actually faster than the dash speed. So it's probably going to catch us here. We're just barely staying ahead of it here. I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't picked it up yet. Okay, now it hits us. Because we reached the end of the dash, and so it slows down for a little bit before the WCS speed kicks in. So let's try jumping a little bit higher, maybe? And then see if that works. Yeah, that's not going to work. I think we need to jump over it completely. Let's see if we can. I'm not sure if we can jump high enough. No, that's not going to work. So we might have to give up the wall cling storage here. Because the... Well, we might be able to dash again. When can we dash again? Our next dash is at 65. So we actually could do an immediate dash on this frame. And we might be able to keep wall cling storage that way, so let's try it. No, it looks like we lose the wall cling storage. Although we're almost at the end of this section anyways, so that might be okay. Let's just discard the wall cling storage. We used it to get this far. And then as soon as we get control back, we'll try to jump. Which might be too late. Let's see if we can jump over this geo. Okay, we are able to jump over the geo, and we're probably going to need to turn around here so that it doesn't catch us while it's going up. So let's try that. Okay, good. So we turn around briefly, and then we probably want to stop jumping, because we just needed to jump high enough to get over it. Oh, we have wall cling storage still. Fascinating. I'm actually not sure how we got wall cling storage back. I wonder if we actually maintained it through the dash and we happened to jump, because we jumped as early as possible, we actually still have the wall cling flag. So that's interesting. That means we should be able to dash and preserve it here and do regular wall cling. This is very interesting because we effectively did a wall cling storage dash while on the ground. Oh, we're dashing too soon though. We can't dash until 126, which means we're actually going to need to jump off of the ground, I think, again. That or we could jump a little bit higher. Yeah, let's jump a little bit higher so that we can do this. Let's see, this might be okay, because we want to get up onto this platform here, and then we're going to want to try to do a C dash. So actually, dashing on the ground, let's jump a little bit higher so that when we do our second dash, we're a little bit midair here. Okay, there we go. So we do our wall cling, and then we go like this, and then we probably want to continue until this around this point, and then just jump off the wall here. And so we transition to a wall jump, and then we might need to dash again. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, I think one more dash will put us in a good position, and hopefully that'll actually position us so that the geo is orbiting us, because it's passing over us to the right, which I think means if we finish this dash, and then probably we might need to turn around briefly here to get it to orbit us, or it actually might orbit us perfectly just by falling. Let's see if we can just fall and then immediately go into a C dash and have that orbit us. Let's stop it right there. We don't quite have control yet, so we have to wait till the next frame. So we'll do like 1 frame of not moving forward. Set a save state here, because this may take some tweaking. Okay, so it is orbiting us. Hopefully this is a stable orbit. So we need to last until 16 is when the C- triggers, because it's an 81 frame wait. Let's see if it orbits us. It looks like it is orbiting us stably. That's good. Or at least stable enough to last for a C- charge. And so now, the C- is faster than the Geo. So this will allow us to hopefully make it through the Mawlurks here without getting hit by anything. And then that gives us a little bit of time for the next transition to get set up before the Geo catches us, probably. So coming up here, we need to adjust some timing. We need to cancel the C- while we're still over this Mawlurk. And then kind of fall to the right. So I think that's going to hit us if we don't start stopping. Yeah, so if we start stopping around there, then this looks good. It's about the right timing. And then we should get control somewhere around here. Okay, we get control here, which is perfect. So, let's do a dash immediately before the Geo catches us. That way we'll be falling as the Geo is catching us. And that should put us in a good position to hopefully set up another orbit into a C-. So we start falling here. So the Geo should shoot over the top of us while we're falling. And then we want it to basically be curving around us as we start the C-. And so it looks like it's going to hit us if we continue going left. So let's start going right. And then turn back around again as we hit the ground. And then immediately begin charging a C-. Let's see if it does miss us. It does. Does it orbit or does it hit us? It looks like it's orbiting. Okay, we got a good angle on it. So now let's go up to 88, is when the C- releases. And then so far it looks good. Now this is a problem, because if we release the C- right now, we're going to crash directly into this Geo, so like that. So we need to hold it a little bit longer. And we might actually need to adjust our positioning a little bit, because I think it looks like it was about to hit us, even if we don't release the C-. But let's see. Yeah, so it already hits us. So we need to adjust our positioning a little bit here. So let's start a little bit further right. And then we can go back to 88 until we figure out what the positioning looks like here. Okay. Yeah, we definitely can't start yet. Okay, there we go. It looks like that cleared it. Yeah, so the Geo passed under us just by holding the C- for a few extra frames. So let's set a save state here, because I like where this is going so far. And so now we should be able to make it over to the leftmost Mawlurk. And then we get to start dodging Geo while doing wall jumps, which is always fun. Okay. So we want to configure this so that we get control back just in time to start jumping. So probably around here, maybe? Because we want to be able to start jumping as soon as we can. Maybe actually a little bit earlier, because we should be able to take advantage of doing jumping in parallel with doing some leftward motion there, jumping up to the wall. Basically, you always want to be moving along whatever path is your gating motion. And so here we're gated by wanting to move vertically. So we want to be starting to move vertically as soon as we can. And so we're just waiting for the control to come in. Okay, we get control there. We're a little bit further over than I'd like, because we're going to start dropping before we touch the wall. So let's start control a little bit later. Okay, and let's set a save state here. And then wait for control. Okay, we get control here. And so here we want to start jumping. We're going to need to keep an eye on that geo. So the geo is coming at us pretty quickly, but it has a very leftward bent because it's been chasing us that entire time. So it's going at max velocity, basically. So we should hopefully be able to do a wall jump here without too much trouble. Certainly at least one wall jump before it starts to be an issue. But now we might need to start manipulating kind of our fine positioning during these wall jumps in order to make sure that it doesn't hit us. Because we still need to make it up this wall and then around past another Mawlurk and then kind of up through a maze again until we can get to the upward transition. So we go like this. Let's see what it's doing. So right now it's set to hit us around here probably, but I think if we do another wall jump, it might miss us. We might need to go a little bit further from the wall here to make sure that it doesn't get us on the rebound. But let's see. Yeah, so right here, it's probably going to hit us. So let's see what it does. Yeah, this is going to get us. Maybe? Yeah, it hits us. Okay, so let's try going a little bit further away from the wall on this jump. And then... Okay, yeah, so the problem there is that... So we could go a little further away from the wall, and we could also reduce the amount of jumping we do. So this will cause us to kind of start falling a little bit. So it's not quite as efficient as far as speed, but obviously it doesn't matter if we're going fast if the geo hits us. Okay, we'd have to do that pretty fast. So one thing we could do is we could actually do a dash back to the wall. So something like this. Okay, but we don't want to do it that soon. We want to do it like maybe here, because we kind of want to do it after the geo is already passing over us. Well, it's not going to pass over us. We need to do it earlier, actually. We need to go far enough over that we lure it over, but then dash to the wall. Okay, that's not going to work either. So let's look at some other options here. So at this point, we're basically primed to be able to do a wall jump. What if we kind of continue jumping up the wall a ways before we do the wall jump? That's going to lure it further to the left, and then we can do a wall jump after it's already been kind of lured over. Okay, so let's actually go straight up here for a little bit. Let's see. Actually, going further left might be good there. Let's see how it does. Because it's already kind of going toward the left of us. So if we get here and we start jumping immediately, there we go. Okay. And then let's stop jumping. Let's stop jumping like right here. There we go. And then that means we should be able to dash under it, maybe? Yeah, let's do a dash under and see if that works out. Okay, so we dash under it. And then let's wait. We don't want to do a trans dash because that's going to give us a bunch of horizontal momentum. Unless we do want to do a trans dash because it is kind of looping directly back to us. Let's try doing a trans dash here. Okay, so if we do a wall dash jump here, the trans dash will basically cause us to have horizontal momentum, which will cause our jump to start from further over. Okay, so we're hitting the Mawlurk spit now. So let's do a slightly later trans dash, which will cause us to have less total horizontal displacement. We kind of want to weave between these two. Okay, so let's go even slightly later. And we might need to manipulate our vertical position a little bit here. But let's first try this. Okay, so we weave between the two. And then now we start to do the wall jump portion of the jump. So we kind of trans dash between the Geo and the Mawlurk spit. And then I think here, let's jump and see if we can get to the right wall. It's a little awkward, but that will position us better for the Geo, I think. Let's see here. So right now, we could kind of do a fake out here and kind of pull it to the right and then dash over. But actually, looking at how it's positioned here, I think doing a trans dash again makes the most sense. So we'll dash into this wall. And so it'll move over us. And then now we can trans dash, which will bring us far enough left that we can jump over this guy. We just stop moving right for a little bit so that we go like this. And then actually, okay, we're going a little too far over now. We can actually do a pogo here, I think. And a pogo, because we're starting to lose some momentum on the jump. And a pogo here would be a good option to get some of that back. And then that should bring us over here. And now we're in a pretty good position. We should be able to... Let's see if we actually need that pogo, because if we don't need the pogo, it's actually more efficient. Because we'll be able to jump again sooner. Okay, so if we don't do the pogo, it'll put us in the position of doing a wall jump again. Which normally would be a good thing, but where that Geo is kind of makes it a little bit iffy. So let's do the pogo, but let's do the pogo a little bit earlier so that we're not pogoing quite as high. Because we want to try to hit the ground a little bit earlier. And I'll set a save state because I'm pretty happy with the idea of doing a trans dash over. I think that makes sense. Okay, so we make it over here. We start the pogo, and then we clear it over here. So we are still getting quite a bit of vertical clearance, but that's okay. I think that's reasonable. Because actually we didn't want to jump too much sooner than this anyways because of the Geo. So now we can start jumping. And then let's see if we clear it. We might need to, yeah, we're gonna need to wiggle a little to make sure that we don't hit the geo. So we come down, we wiggle over, we jump over it. And then now we should be able to dash across here. And that should be fine. Okay, now let's set a safe state here. So now we need to make it past another Mawlurk. And we get to do a little bit of jump rope here to continue keeping the geo on the correct side for us. So we probably can't dash right away. So let's just walk forward until the geo is about to pass us. And then we can turn around briefly and then start jumping. So this should cause it to miss us. Okay, we need to start turning a little sooner. Okay, there we go. And actually, it looks like we can jump sooner than that. So might as well. Yep. Okay. And then it's coming directly for us, but we can dash. And hopefully this will land us on the platform here. It does, definitely. Okay. So far so good. Managing to keep the geo away from us. And now, we might be able to dash immediately, but let's just walk forward. And then we'll turn around briefly. And again, we need to do a little bit sooner than this. Okay, and we need to turn for a little bit more so that we don't actually run into it. So that's looking good. So actually we can start dashing here. Basically as soon as it passes under us. Which is good. We want to dash as often as possible. So this looks promising. Yeah, I don't think we want to do a C-dash through here at all, because there's too many obstacles, if I remember correctly. So we'll just do this, and then we want to start jumping. Let's jump over it rather than turning in this case, because it's a little bit vertical, and I don't want to have to spend too much time turning around. Now, we do still need to turn around a little bit, but a little bit of a jump here is decent. And then actually we can dash right at the top of that, I think. Yeah, because we wiggle over and then dash over. Yeah. Dodging geo when you're moving forward is a lot of little wiggles like this. To just continue not quite letting it catch you on the right side. And then wiggle again. And as usual, I need to do it sooner. Sooner still. Do it for a little bit longer, maybe. Let's do it sooner first. Yeah, let's do it for a bit longer. And actually, let's do a jump, because we need to be jumping here anyways. And that should give us more clearance. Yeah. So we do a jump, and then probably a dash around here, so that we start clearing it as it's looping back around. Because it's trying to come at us from below. So we dash to clear it. And we need to make it over the Mawlurk anyways, so. Okay. Let's set a safe state here. So here, we want to make it over this Mawlurk. And then I think there's actually a C-dash we can do after the Mawlurk. Actually, no, I think it's a bunch of dashes. We'll see when we get there. So we're going to come down here, and then we want to start jumping probably as soon as possible, but potentially manipulating our horizontal position to make sure that we wiggle past the geo. Yeah, so we're going to need to do a little bit of a wiggle here, I think. A little bit more wiggle. Okay, so that looks good. And I think this is another case where we probably want to do a pogo. And then we need to stop moving right. The geo could be a problem. We might need to dodge left. But let's see what happens here. Okay, let me see if we have enough time to dash before the geo catches us. Just barely. Okay, perfect. And we just barely clear the spit. So that's all looking pretty good. Another save state. I do a lot of save states when I'm doing these geo-dodging segments, because it's a bunch of little micro manipulations of movement. Looks like we're gonna need another wiggle here. Probably like this. Okay. This one's a little tricky because we're falling, and we actually fall a little bit faster than geo moves when we hit our full speed. So let's do a little more wiggle, because we're actually probably going to pass underneath it after falling enough. No, and it's passing over us, so we might want to do... We don't have our dash yet, but what if we do another pogo? So if we did a second pogo, that would put us at 51 would be the pogo timing, which actually is where we set our save state. So if we were to do a pogo here, and do some sideways motion so that we don't hit the geo, so something like this maybe, then we can start moving right again. So we kind of pogo over the geo. There we go. And then now we're falling. We should, I think, fall fast enough that we can dash under this geo. Yeah, looks like we can dash under the geo. Let's dash around here. Let's see how this does. Okay, that looks good. And so, get another save state. So now, we just have a little bit more to go to get out of this room. So we want to... So we're falling here. Now this is a little bit tricky, because this geo... Yeah, the geo's gonna hit us. So we might want to do our dash a little bit later so that we're already on the ground and can jump. Because I think we're going to need a jump to deal with this geo here. Yeah. So let's jump and then do a little bit of wiggle backwards here. Actually, we might not even need the jump. We might just need to do a wiggle. Let's try that. Let's set a save state here. Okay, so we wiggle. Okay, I don't think the wiggle quite works. Let's do the wiggle a little bit earlier. Let's see what happens there. Let's do more wiggle. We might still need to do a jump here. Yeah, we're probably going to need to do a jump. So let's do a jump. We don't need a slash. So we do a jump, wiggle, And then there we go. So it passes over us, or in front of us rather. Okay, so we hit the ground again, so we should be free to dash again actually. So let's just do our dash on cooldown. That puts our dash at 10. So that should be good. Yeah. We dash here. Dashing is always a little tricky with the Geo because the way the speeds work, dashing is very commonly is going to get us caught. Okay, so we want to go up here. And we should be able... We might be able to pogo off this balloon that's forming and use that to get up rather than having to go over to the right platform. We might even be able to reach it just by jumping straight up. So let's try that. We want to jump basically as soon as possible. Okay, so we need to be moving right a little bit so that we don't get tagged by this Geo. Okay, there we go. And now we can move left. And then let's jump straight up. And let's see how this does. Okay, that's perfect. So we can stop jumping. And now we can wall jump. Okay. So we wall jump like this. And then we should be able to go straight up. Normally what we want to do here is a snake jump. But in order to do the snake jump, we would want to go to the right here, and I think the Geo's going to get us. So the other option is we could actually keep jumping left, and then we can do a pogo off of this little background piece, and then do a dash over. Let's try that. So we'll jump left. That should hopefully make it past the Geo. Okay, it does. So now let's pogo this here, and we can stop moving left. No, we need to go a little bit further to get to pogo. We can set a save state. Okay. So we're pogoing. Looks like in order to do the pogo, we might need to move left a little here to avoid the Geo. We probably need to start doing that sooner. Maybe we want to go right and go underneath it. Let's see where we're at here when the pogo is triggering. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, yeah. The problem is we're a little bit too high up. So let's actually do the pogo from lower down. So that, okay, there we go. Yeah, so by doing the pogo from lower down, that puts us in a better position to go underneath this Geo. Ideally. Go a little bit lower still. Oh, that's too low. Because we need to still make it over it. See here. So we go like this, and let's see if we can make it under the Geo. We can. Okay, beautiful. Looks like we won't be able to make it all the way up though, which could be an issue. Yeah, because this Geo is already turning around and coming for us again. So this probably isn't going to work, because I don't think we can, yeah, we're not going to fall fast enough. Okay. Can we do the pogo timing a little bit different? Like here. We start the pogo there. Then do we still make it over? No. So one thing we could do is we could do the pogo from higher and then plan to do a dash out of the pogo. Because if we do a dash out of the pogo, that cancels the vertical momentum. which should allow us to clear it. Because the geo should be moving while we're starting the dash. Okay, no, that's a little bit too high still. Okay, and that's actually too soon to dash. Probably just because it's too close to the nail hit. Let's try that. Do something like this. See if that gives us enough clearance. No, interesting. The geo is kind of slowing down as a result of being so close to us there. So if... Interesting. So we could pogo and then jump off of the left wall, potentially. Let's try that. Let's keep going left here after the pogo. Okay, so we're still getting height. Let's not pogo quite as high. Let's see if we can get a position where we can get under it. No. Go higher, actually. Let's see what happens there. There seems to be a little bit of a magic position here where maybe our height is about right for dash. So let's try that. There we go. Okay, so we're able to dash over. And then hopefully we'll be able to have enough time to do a wall jump. And we don't want to do a trans dash, but that's okay. I think we're in a good position here. So we want to do a snake jump. Actually, we might not even need to do another wall jump here. We might just be able to go straight up. Now, which direction do we want to be coming out here? We actually want to be coming out on the right side because we want to do the trans dash skip up to the next platform in the next room. So we're actually going to turn right and then see if we can hit the transition. Okay, that doesn't quite hit the transition, but that's okay. We'll be able to do a wall jump. So we'll just do a snake jump up into a wall jump. I think we've probably got it here. Setting a save state. Okay. So snake jump, and then wall jump. And then hopefully we don't hit the geo. Okay, we're gonna need to check this because it looks like it might hit us. We might have had like a frame of invulnerability or something here where it's not touching us. Let's see if it catches us. Yeah, so we hit the transition, which gave us a long enough period where it didn't actually pick up in this case. And because the transition causes us to accelerate out of the room, we make it out. So let's turn off camera follow. And let's just make sure that when we get to the next room, we're okay. Okay, 0 geo, good. So we made it through and we didn't pick up that geo, even though it looked very close and like it was going to hit us there. I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't pick us up. It must have something to do with the transition animation stuff. Because this game has some really jank things that happen at transitions. Because I know it can definitely hit you when you're going through the transition if you're on the other side of it. That typically will happen with the sideways transitions where you don't get that vertical boost to speed like you do on vertical transitions. So we got lucky here. But in any case, I'll go ahead and encode that and post that interesting little segment of unexpected geododging. Thanks for watching, and looking forward to being able to show you the full thing.